and you're doing quite well. We're going to explore something that I take a personal interest in. We're going to explore the locked or the hidden potentials of the past. The past contains a tremendous amount of love, and the past is trying to bond with this thing called new energy. But so much of the past is locked up in belief systems and in history. By the way, history is, you might as well throw all history away, for it is written in a very linear way. Your history too. You look back and you say, "What, Adamus, I have a very clearly defined past." I'd say just in this lifetime, not at all. So, but Adamus, here's all my photographs. I can show you from the time I was born right through now. It's very clearly defined. You are only seeing a sliver of your history, of your past. What's happened is the potentials of the past have been locked away. They have been hidden very, very cleverly. So you would think that you're who you are, rather than who you really have been. You've locked them away, you've allowed others to lock them away, and you defined yourself in a very narrow spectrum, but that's not at all who you are. Going into the past and unlocking its potentials and its what you would call alternative realities, which are not alternative at all, for they actually existed, you just choose to ignore them. But going into the past is a very dangerous thing. There are dragons and demons guarding the doors of the past. You put it there partly for your safeguarding, partly for your sense of illusion. We're going to go back into the past now and unlock those potentials. It's going to change your past. It won't change somebody else's necessarily, but it's going to change your past. Are you ready for that? Don't say yes until you read the fine print. You're going to come to understand that the person that you see in the mirror, the person that sits here, is not at all a good representation of who you really are. But as we go into the past, you're going to see some things that you may not want to see through the eyes of the human that you have been up until now. In other words, you wouldn't have been ready for it a year ago or 2 years ago, but you're ready for it now. I'm going to be with you every moment of every day and every night. That is my promise to each and every one of you. I will always be there. There's an entourage that works with me. There are ascended masters coming back to earth now who we are connected with. There are aspects of yourself that we continually connect and communicate with. I will be with you every step of the way. Don't ask me to do it for you. Don't ask me for the answer. But I will be with you in honor. Don't run and hide from me, but I know you will. There's going to be times when you're so embarrassed by yourself and your actions, you're going to wish I wasn't there. You're going to pretend that I'm not, and therefore, to you, I won't be, but to me, I will. Dear Shambra, we're going into the past to discover really our future. We're going into the past to unlock a very dynamic, love-filled, but sometimes frightening energy, so that you're not squeezed into the definition. You're not in your own crystal. You laugh when I said I was in a crystal for 100,000 years. Do you know how long you've been in your crystal? Longer than 100,000 years. Your crystal is your past. You've been locked in it. You've been isolated from it at the same time. We're going to go back and open it up. I'm not going to go into how we're going to do that right now. We'll be getting into that in some of our classes, but you're going to understand what a release it is, how much energy has been tied up, how much weight has been on top of you. It's like you've been buried underground the whole time. When you go into the past and unlock every part of it, it changes the present, it changes the past, it changes the course of your history, it changes everything. You're going to discover things about yourself that will amaze you. We are going to go together into the future and its potentials. We're not going to set the future for humanity. We're going to look at the potentials. We're going to be forecasters. We're going to look at the direction that humanity is going in. We're going to take a look at your own set of creations that are sitting out there in the future. They are right now. I'm looking forward to walking out there with you where you are conscious of what's out in your future. Some of you have a junkyard that's already out there. Some of you have so much fear out in your future that the future basically stops. And then a reader takes a look at your life and they gulp. Say it doesn't go too much further. Actually, it does, but there are so many walls of fear out there. Some of you have taken the worst of your past and put it into your future to repeat yourself. Why? Well, you think that if you keep repeating over and over and over, as the quote in your book says, Kathy, that you might get a different result, but you don't. You'll always get the same result if you're repeating the same actions and the same mindset. So you've taken your graveyards from the past and put them into your future. You're destined to repeat yourself. We're going to go out there. We're going to uncover some of those. We're going to first be aware of what's out there, but then we're going to uncover. Some of you have nothing in your future. You're afraid to plan. You're afraid to create, I should say, into the future. You're afraid it might be the wrong thing, so you put nothing out there. What happens to you? Oh, you're really subject to destiny and everybody else's whims. You have not created for yourself, so it will then be created for you by others. Some of you are quite content with that. You can blame it on them rather than to be a creator in your own right. We're going to take a look at the past, the future, and we're going to bring it all into this present moment. The present moment where it is actualized and materialized, where it is actually experienced. By the way, you cannot experience to the degree that you can here in the now moment. You cannot experience so much in the past or the future. You can get indications of experience in the past or the future, but you can fully experience right now. That is why now was created. The only reason now was created. Otherwise, reality as you know it would just be comprised of past and future. There's actually a beautiful theory or formula behind this and a wonderful physics, but you were bright enough to create the present moment so you could experience. That's what it's here for. We're going to get intense at times. Some of you right now are turning off your computers and waving goodbye. And that's all right. You're welcome back anytime. I will, as the expression I created, I will call a spade a spade. If I think that you're into your mind, grant me the right to tell you that. If I think that you're feeding off of me or anyone else, allow me to tell you that. If I think that you're totally full of crap, allow me to tell you that, for I will do it in absolute honor. As we go forward into our work together, I'm going to ask several things out of you. First, as I said before, realize I'm going to be with you every step, every moment. When you ask for privacy, I will give it to you, but I will still be there. I won't be intruding, I'll just be slightly turning my back.